Tariqh Akoni from the LA Music Academy and the musical director and conductor for Josh Groban. Obviously I'm here during a sound check with Josh, and I wanted to take a second to take you through my rig. For all of you that are tuning back in, the rig is very similar to what I was using out on the David Foster tour. There's a couple of little changes. Over here you'll see that once again I'm running a very similar rack. I'm running two heads that get switched into the same cabinet backstage, and then I actually have a rack of gear that it gets mic backstage and comes through my mic preamp. So if you look on top, I've got a Blankenship head, and this head's basically like a Fender Twin. So I set this up primarily for clean sounds and very organic clean sounds. Back on the Foster tour, I believe I was using the Matchless, which I typically use for a little bit of a raw kind of clean, boxy AC30 kind of thing. This is once again much more kind of big, clean, low end. Then I once again have the custom audio electronics. This is the OD100 Classic, gotta remember. And then down here, if you take a look, I'll kind of scoot down, but down here if you take a look, I'm doing the same thing where I'm running through the Aphex mic pre. So the signal goes from these, gets switched into a cabinet backstage, then the microphone comes back in through here, goes down to line level, and actually goes through these effects, which are my Eventide Eclipse. And I'm now using a Lexicon PCM60 for reverb, which is a really warm sounding reverb. And I wanted to do something where I could just use the Lexicon for delays and special effects, and kind of have the reverb on constantly. These pedals, or in here, actually all go in front of the heads. And here you've noticed I've got the Pog, which was there last time, an old 70s Dynacomp. I've actually got an XTS, this is the Tejas boost, which is very similar to the boost that I had last time. I still have the Precision Overdrive, still have my Rotosphere, and still have my Hartman flanger. And this is a new piece, which is actually a Strymon delay. I use this for kind of an organic tape delay for the kind of edge delay sound I have to use on the song Voce. And then also, up here I'm actually using the TC still, which I typically use for actually all my modulation stuff that has to be timed. Over here you'll notice that the brain of the whole rig is actually the custom audio electronics. I'm still using RS10, where I've got all my patches set up. And then I'm actually, once again, you can see that I've got everything set up for kind of instant access in case I have to go through my delays, etc. Got a volume pedal for my primary volume, and this one's set up for post volume, wah-wah, and these weren't here last time, which is a tap tempo for the Eventide Eclipse. So once again, I can just switch it in and out if I need to. And then I've got this passive switch, which throws it to my wireless if I have to go to wireless. I typically prefer to use a cable. But if I have to use a wireless, I'll just kind of pop that in. And then once again, I've actually got another guitar on a Bracey stand, which is something I enjoy doing, and it impresses your friends and frightens your enemies. And then let's go and take a look at the back, and I can show you some more guitars in the acoustic room. You gonna walk with me? Wash my head? I don't know if you have it on camera, but this is Dave Pops Clemens.
Hello.
This is the one and only. I'm very lucky to have him out with me. I love this guy to death, and there's no way I would be able to do this if he weren't here. I would be panicking daily, but now he panics for me. Thanks, Pops.
Absolutely. Anytime.
But come on over and I'll show you the acoustic rig. So one of the great things about the rig, and about, as I kind of was mentioning before, is the rig is actually modular. So depending on the gig, I can switch in different heads, different cabinets and whatnot. So right now the cabinet that's in an ISO box down there is a Carry Wright 212 with I believe I've got a Vintage 30 and a Greenback in there, and they're actually mic'd separately. But I love the 212 because it's actually, I love the way it resonates, and it's not so loud as a 412, and they don't have the same phase issues and whatnot. So this is actually the acoustic rig, and this is Pop's world. This stays in Pop's world, and basically he's designed a matrix system using the RG16 from RJM. So what he can do is any wireless that's coming in, he can switch any wireless into any of my acoustics, and then they all go into their own separate Fishman auras. So here I've got, as you can tell, one setup for the nylon, one setup for my mandolin, one setup for the McPherson, one setup for the steel. And I've also got, there's a B stage, and I've got those set up out there. He can also switch them here using a remote RS10. And if he needs to, Pops is set up where he can actually also switch some of my patches, just in case I'm away from my pedal board and whatnot. Then over here we have a couple more guitars. I actually don't have as many guitars on this tour as I have on some other Josh Groban tours. I've got my Martin, this is actually a vintage kind of 70s D35. I've got this guitar, which you've seen before, which is my Michael Thompson. Thanks, Michael. My Michael Thompson James Tyler, which gives me the really pristine, clean sound. I have this, which is a Larrabee 12-string, which you didn't probably see before. Love these guys. I've got the nylon string, which is kind of my primary nylon. This is actually a Yamaha master-built nylon string with an LR Bags pickup. I've got over here my number one, which is the Gold Tyler, which I kind of detailed before. And then I've also got this Telly, which you can see has been loved and road worn. And just in case you didn't know, Bert is evil. So yeah, and then out there on the stage I've got a Gibson Firebird, which is tuned oddly. It's actually capoed at the 2nd fret and tuned down to low D flat, I believe. So when it's capoed at the 2nd fret, it's a low E flat. And then there's a B stage way out in the middle of the audience where I actually have an Eastman mandolin, and I've got a Gibson, what's that there? Gibson J45. So that's pretty much the rig, and once again this is Pop's World, and I love him to death, and the rig was put together by me and actually my buddy Dave Phillips over at LA Sound Design. I've got to give mad props to Dave. He builds amazing rigs, and anything he's ever done for me just sounds head and shoulders above what I've had before. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed a little tour, and I'm glad that you got a chance to meet Pops and see the rig and hear some beautiful music out there, and hopefully I'll get a chance to see you guys on the road. Peace out.